Good evening. Welcome to the 48th Annual Semiconductor Industry Association Awards Dinner. I'm John Newfert, SIA President and CEO. On behalf of the SIA Board of Directors, thank you for joining us tonight. We have a very, very special program planned for you, but before we get started, I'd like to recognize our outstanding platinum and gold sponsors. Without their support, you all would be eating chicken pot pie. Our platinum sponsors are AMD, Arizona Commerce Authority, Cadence, Endress & Hauser, Intel. That was an Intel table. Marvell. All right, Micron. Okay. NVIDIA. Who are they? New York Loves Nanotech, Purdue Research Foundation, Samsung, SanDisk, Synopsys, and none other than TSMC. And our gold sponsors are Amcor, Analog Devices, CEA Leti. Okay, good effort. Coherent. Credo. Global Foundries. GSME. IBM. IMEC. Infineon. Mitsubishi Chemical America. Morgan Stanley. My Compass. My Silicon Compass, Plug and Play, PwC, Qualcomm, Rambus, Rapidus. Oh, wow, that sounds like the same people. SciTime, SK Hynix, Stunt, and Texas Instruments. A big thank you to all of our incredible sponsors. Let's give them a big round of applause. I'd also like to recognize some very special guests here tonight. First, we are deeply honored to welcome His Excellency President Luis Abinader of the Dominican Republic. Under his leadership, the Dominican Republic has a national strategy to strengthen its role in the chip supply chain. We are inspired by his vision and wish the President and his team much success in those efforts. Thank you, Mr. President, for joining us tonight. I think you may very well be the first head of state to attend one of our dinners. Thank you. In addition, I'd also like to recognize former U.S. Secretary of Commerce Wilbur Ross, who is also with us tonight. Not quite done with him yet. During President Trump's first term, Secretary Ross played a very big role in promoting greater semiconductor investment in the U.S., most notably through discussions with leaders at a very large company in attendance here tonight. Mr. Secretary, we greatly appreciate your many efforts to strengthen our industry, and thank you for joining us this evening. Finally, I'd like to give a huge thanks to the brilliant kids of the FIRST Robotics program for wowing us at tonight's reception with their talent and joyful enthusiasm. Let's take a look at a short video about their terrific work.
Hi, I'm Erin, and I work on commercial avionics at RTX.
Hi, I'm Logan, design engineer at Nike.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I work on the autonomous tractor.
How did I get here?
How did I get here?
How'd I get here?
While you figure out your tomorrows,
build the skills you'll need today.
Hi, I'm Dean Kamen, the founder of FIRST. It's not about creating scientists and engineers. It's about creating the students that today will be the leaders of tomorrow. In high school, like many, I struggled, but I persisted with STEM. I believe that collaboration and competence lead to community and confidence. You can get anywhere by starting here.
With First.
All right, thank you, First Robotics, and thanks to Luann Heimlich and Lonnie Weissman from First Robotics. Both of them are here tonight. We appreciate your leadership and support. Let's give some applause for Lonnie and Luann. Okay, we're going to do things a little bit differently. Now, before we break for dinner, I'd like to present our first set of awards, the 2025 University Research Awards, to two distinguished professors who have made exceptional contributions to semiconductor research. Professor Grace Shing from Cornell University and Professor Todd Austin from the University of Michigan. Before I recognize the professors, I'd like to give a huge thanks to our partners at the Semiconductor Research Corporation for identifying these tremendous researchers as candidates for this award. And a special thanks to SRC CEO Todd Youngkin, who is here tonight for his outstanding dedication and leadership. We very much appreciate our long and enduring partnership with you guys. Thank you, Todd and team. Todd, where are you at over there? There you are. Take a bow. Now to our awardees. Professor Sheen and Austin exemplify excellence in semiconductor research. Their cutting-edge work has expanded the frontiers of chip technology and strengthened America's role as the global innovation leader. Let's recognize our first award winner and then welcome her to the stage to accept the award and say a few words. Professor Grace Shing will receive the award for excellence in semiconductor technology research. She is recognized for pioneering work in 3,5 nitride materials and devices, oxide materials and devices, 2D crystal semiconductors, and layered crystals. I hope I got that right. Her research on wide bandgap semiconductors has significantly advanced applications of polar semiconductors in electronics and photonics, such as high-frequency wireless communication, solid-state electronics, and energy-efficient devices. Please join me in welcoming to the stage our first recipient of the 2025 University Research Award, Professor Grace Shing. Come on up to the stage.
Oh, how lovely. I love that. Good evening, everybody. Dear board members, colleagues, friends, and guests. As a good university professor, I have prepared a 55 minutes lecture. But don't worry, I'm going to condense down to 1 minute. I was so inspired by the welcome just now and a call out of the sponsors from this community. I would like to ask one quick question. If you have never heard of me, can you please give me a yeah? That's what I figured. I will hear a very loud cheer. Thank you so much for this wonderful award. And I'm truly humbled and honored for this award. This is not said with lightweight. I wanted to thank SIA and SRC for this recognition. I often think of myself as a scout of science and technology. As a scout, I base what I do on the fundamentals of physics and chemistry. And with those two sets, I've explored a wider range of semiconductor materials and their applications, including some of the newer materials in my research group on superconductors for quantum technologies. But over the past 2 decades, what I have seen in close distance is a powerful partnership among the academia, industry, and the government. This is my wish list, and I trust SIA and SRC will continue to usher the semiconductor community through uncertain times like this one today we're experiencing. Last, but the most important, I wanted to say this award truly belongs to generations of students and close collaborators that I have opportunity to work with and shaped and shared the journey with me. Thank you so much for your attention. My 1-minute lecture is over. Thank you for this honor.
Okay, folks, I know you're super excited to be here tonight, but I'd appreciate it if you could keep your joyful enthusiasm down a little bit so we can have some auditory discipline here. Could everyone quiet things down a little bit? I appreciate that. All right, that's a little better. All right. Our next award recipient is Todd Austin. He will receive the award for excellence in semiconductor design research. Professor Austin is recognized for his contributions to computer microarchitecture, robust and secure system design, hardware and software verification, and performance analysis tools and techniques. Is that correct? All right. More recently, Professor Austin has focused on processor security, most notably through his Morpheus project, which uses dynamic encryption and randomized data and code shuffling to thwart cyber attacks. Please join me in congratulating our next recipient of the 2025 University Research Award, Professor Todd Austin. Come on stage.
Thank you so much. I just want to say thank you to SIA and SRC, and double thanks to SRC for funding my research for 20 years, and the SRC membership companies for helping supply all that money. Thank you so much. And hiring all my students as well. So thank you so, so much. I really appreciate it. This is a tremendous honor, and I'm delighted to be here. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, Professor Austin, and congratulations again to both of you. Let's give both professors one big round of applause. All right, with that, we'll take a break for dinner, and we'll resume tonight's program shortly. Thank you. Bon appetit. All right, good evening, everyone, and thank you once again for joining us. Wow, do we have a full house tonight? I'm not usually one to compare crowd sizes, but I must say this just might be the biggest crowd we've had for an awards dinner ever. Right? Yeah? This means at least two things. First, the enthusiasm and interest for our industry has never been greater. And second, we should probably raise ticket prices for next year. Just kidding, or maybe not kidding. But seriously, it's a great pleasure to be with you at this exciting and important time for our industry. We will have lots of glitterati from our industry on the stage tonight and a fun evening planned for you. Before we get into it, having been up on this stage for 11 years running, I'd like to take a few minutes to reflect on where we are as an industry and where we're going. We've always known semiconductors are at the center of the global technology revolution, both literally and figuratively. Now, the entire world has come to appreciate this foundational reality. The chip technologies researched, designed, and manufactured by the companies and the people here tonight are changing the world for the better and making the impossible possible. Semiconductors have made us all smarter, healthier, more productive, and better connected. And I think we can all agree the best is yet to come. One example of a game-changing technology powered by our mighty semiconductors is, of course, artificial intelligence. AI is built on decades and decades of breathtaking semiconductor innovation. Every time you ask an AI model a question, it passes through hundreds, thousands of chips made by a broad range of companies across our industry, all working together in a magical technological ballet that takes milliseconds. The total number of computations required to train AI models has grown by a factor of roughly 100 million over the last decade or so, enabled almost entirely by faster and more energy-efficient chips. AI is a shining example of the tremendous promise of our chip industry. And there are countless others: quantum computing, advanced wireless networks, electric and autonomous vehicles, life-saving medical devices, and so many more. Thanks to big domestic investments by our companies recently, many more of the chips needed to power the technologies of tomorrow will be right here in America, will be made right here in America. All told, companies in the semiconductor ecosystem have announced more than 130 projects across 28 states, totaling over $630 billion in private investments in this country. That is not chopped liver. That puts us on track to more than triple U.S. manufacturing capacity by 2032, the fastest growing rate of any country in the world. I'm proud to say SIA has led the charge in Washington to enact incentives that are making America a more cost-competitive place to research, design, and manufacture chips. Earlier this year, yeah? Okay. We'll take that. Earlier this year, we achieved another big win by securing an increase in the highly successful Advanced Manufacturing Investment Credit, or Investment Tax Credit, going from 25% to 35% to spark, again. That is also not chopped liver. So we're on a roll as an industry, and our impact in the world has really never been greater. But we still have significant challenges. First, as we continue to ramp up domestic chip design and production, we need to make sure there's demand for our products, both at home and overseas. We need to balance the supply side of the equation, building more fabs, with the demand side of the equation, making sure there's ample demand for our chips. Roughly 70% of U.S. semiconductor industry revenues come from overseas sales. For our industry to continue to grow, innovate, and lead, we must be able to sell to our customers globally. Second, as new chip facilities come online, we need to expand the pipeline of top talent to fill the new jobs that come with them. Unfortunately, demand for talent greatly exceeds the available supply. To bridge the gap, we must advance policies that allow us to develop, attract, and retain a high-skilled workforce. Third, as we work to overcome new technology challenges, we must continue to invest in R&D to power the next generation of semiconductor innovation. Our industry invests about 1/5 of revenue into R&D annually, making us one of the most R&D intensive industries on this planet. To ensure, yeah, we'll clap to that. To ensure continued U.S. tech leadership, leaders in Washington should prioritize federal investment in semiconductor research and advance robust R&D incentives. We've come a long way as an industry, and I truly believe our best days are ahead. But innovation never rests, and neither can we. The late, great Steve Jobs once said, "Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people." The stakes are incredibly high, and it's critical that we work as a team across our industry and the entire chip ecosystem to pave the way to a promising future, all built on semiconductors. Let me close by once again thanking all of you for being here this evening and for your support of SIA on our collaborative mission. Thank you. Now, before we welcome SIA's newly elected board chair to the stage, I'd like to take a moment to recognize our outgoing chair, David Geckler of SanDisk. David has been a rock-solid leader of SIA over the last 12 months, helping us effectively engage with the new administration and Congress and securing some pretty substantial policy wins in our new political climate in Washington. On a personal level, I very much appreciated David's honest, smart, and steady guidance as we've tackled policy challenges in our nation's capital and around the world. David, it's been a genuine pleasure having you at the helm. Thank you. So on behalf of the entire SIA board, David, thank you so much. With that, I'm pleased to introduce the person who earlier today was elected to serve as SIA's chair for the year ahead. Lisa Su is a formidable leader in our industry. Her voice carries tremendous weight with policymakers in Washington and across the globe. She and I share a chronological event in our pasts, having both come into our current jobs in early 2015. I believe that's correct, Lisa. Nearly 11 years ago. She has been a guidepost ever since. The remarkable advances we've seen in AI are also a testament to her visionary leadership in semiconductor innovation. Her approach to leadership is rooted in partnership. She's profoundly committed not only to AMD's success, but to the success of this entire community and everyone in this room. She's deeply knowledgeable and passionate, and we're very fortunate to have her leading the charge for our industry in the year ahead. Please join me in welcoming to the stage our friend, AMD Chair and CEO and 2026 SIA Board Chair, Dr. Lisa Su.
All right, how's everyone doing tonight? John tells me that this is a very rowdy crowd, and I say that's a good thing, isn't it? So first of all, good evening. Welcome everyone to the 2025 SIA Awards Dinner. It is really wonderful to see so many great friends and colleagues with us this evening. As John said, I'm truly honored to serve as the chair of the board of the SIA this coming year. And I want to begin by expressing my thanks to David, who has served as chair during quite an eventful 12 months. So thank you, David. And I also want to thank John. Thank you for your leadership. John has been SIA's president and CEO for more than a decade. Your advocacy and efforts have built an excellent foundation for this industry's growth, and we're very, very thankful to have you at the helm. And of course, the real stars are Cece and Mark tonight, so congratulations to you both. And to the entire TSMC team, we are very much looking forward to celebrating you tonight. So to everyone here, the SIA board, the SIA staff, all of our members, thank you for all that you do for our industry. And I wanted to just spend a couple of minutes to give you my impressions of the industry. I would say that we are extremely lucky to be in the semiconductor industry at this very special time. And as John said, semiconductors are truly essential to everything that we do as a foundational building block for the global economy, national security, and really an essential part of all of our daily lives. And I like to tell the story that when I first started in semiconductors and got out of school over 30 years ago, like many of you who have been in the industry for a long time, I used to tell people I was in semiconductors and building chips, and people had no idea what I did. They actually thought they could make a lot more money going into finance than going into engineering. And it was hard to describe that we were building these amazing things that are so small but power everything from electronics to advanced manufacturing to energy to defense systems to global communications, healthcare, and so much more. Now, the way we've done that, the foundation of our industry has and always will be about innovation. Every decade brings a new inflection point in technology. When you think about internet to personal computing to mobile devices to the cloud, each of these major technologies has changed how we live and work. But throughout each of these waves, we've encountered actually many, many challenges. And with every generation, we've said, oh, Moore's law is slowing down. We can't scale devices anymore. Lithography will limit us. I see Christoph here. Christoph is going to help us. Or we say economics is going to limit us. But this industry has always come together and solved every one of those challenges, and many, many more through innovation and collaboration. That mindset is exactly what's driving this next wave of innovation, led by the most transformational technology of our time, which is AI. Over the next decade, AI will transform every industry, every business, every product, and every interaction. Whether you're talking about powering these massive data centers and AI factories, or transforming our businesses and enterprise, or bringing intelligent computing to the edge, or running personal AI on our devices. And once again, we are truly lucky because the semiconductor industry, our technology and our chips are enabling this massive new technology revolution. Now, I'd like to say with all of this opportunity also comes significant responsibility for all of us as an industry. We have to come together to think beyond our individual companies and expertise and really collectively address some of the largest challenges out there. Whether it's all about building a stable, big manufacturing base in the United States and around the world, or strengthening our global supply chains, or designing data centers that use less energy, or rethinking new architectures, and probably most importantly, it's engaging the entire semiconductor ecosystem that's across hardware, software, systems, applications, and everything in between. Now, the other thing that's also made our lives a little bit more complicated is that semiconductors are now a strategic national asset, reshaping all of our conversations across the world. The SIA represents 99% of the US semiconductor industry, and our industry has a huge seat at the table today in Washington. Policymakers know that semiconductors play a critical role, and they are working with us. I can say that with President Trump and his administration, we have seen a proactive set of policies to accelerate the rate and pace of investments in the US, and that has really helped us to to ensure that we have a very vibrant and strong U.S. semiconductor ecosystem that can lead the world going forward. Now, I truly believe that we have a golden opportunity right now to help shape the policies going forward, and that is bringing the full innovation strength of our industry into public policy. So as an industry and as a group, we should be clear, constructive, and collaborative partners with this administration, with the leaders on the Hill, and with all of our stakeholders globally. And I'm looking forward to this coming year as chair of the SIA to work together with all of you to ensure that our voice is heard and we are recognized as a truly collaborative and positive force in Washington, for the United States, and for our global ecosystem. So let me close by saying, I believe our industry's best days are ahead of us. I've never been more excited to be in the semiconductor industry together with all of you. Thank you for the opportunity to work with all of you, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Lisa. Now we are pleased to share a message from a friend in Washington, U.S. Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick.
Good evening, everyone. I am Howard Lutnick, the United States Secretary of Commerce. I wish I could be there with you in person tonight because this room represents the heart of America's innovation engine. The semiconductor industry is not just another sector. This is the foundation of our economic strength, our technological leadership, and our national security. Under President Trump, we are laser focused on ensuring that the United States leads this industry, and the American technology stack is what the world is built on, now and for generations to come. We are rebuilding and focused on our supply chains, strengthening domestic manufacturing, and we're going to double down on R&D. We are making sure America is never again dependent on fragile or unreliable supply chains or sources for the chips that power everything from our AI to our defense system, even to the phones in our pockets. This is what America First leadership looks like and feels like. Tonight, we also celebrate extraordinary individuals who have shaped the global semiconductor landscape. Dr. C.C. Wei and Dr. Mark Liu, your leadership at TSMC have changed the world. You've pushed the boundaries of what's possible in advanced manufacturing and set the standards that drive the entire industry forward. Receiving the Robert N. Noyce Award is a tremendous honor, and you have well earned it. And what I want to offer also is a special congratulations to Dr. Lisa Su as she steps into the role of SIA Chair. The industry is obviously in great hands. To everyone in this room, the work you do matters. It matters to our economy, it matters to our national security, and it matters to the future of American technological leadership. At the Department of Commerce, I want you to know you have a friend, you have a partner, you have an advocate, and you have a champion for what you want to achieve. We are going to keep pushing, we're going to keep building, and we are going to keep ensuring that America leads the world in semiconductors. Congratulations again to tonight's honorees. Thank you for everything you do, and I wish you all an incredible, incredible evening.
Wow, that was great for that very kind and enthusiastic message. Now it's time to turn to the presentation of the semiconductor industry's top honor, the Robert N. Noyce Award. We'll start with a short video about the award's namesake, which makes me tear up every year, a true icon of our industry, the great Robert Noyce. Now, to present the 2025 Robert N. Noyce Awards, please join me in welcoming to the stage a true leader and mainstay of our industry, the indomitable and sometimes incorrigible Broadcom President and CEO, Hock Tan. Hock, come on up.
Can't read the teleprompter. All right. Hey, good evening, everyone, and thank you. It's an honor to be here to recognize two visionary leaders who have shaped this industry, this unique industry we are all so vested in. It's interesting what Lisa said about semiconductors in her young age. Well, let me tell you my first memories of the industry. While growing up in Malaysia, I recall seeing, when I was young, massive construction close to Penang Airport, Penang, huge, shiny factories built by emerging American semiconductor companies determined to expand their global reach. Now, the new factories were plopped among the coconut trees, pristine beaches of what was then a third world country. That was my first impression of the tech industry. And seeing that huge investment on beautiful beaches in Penang taught me early, very early, that tech was the surest way to get to paradise. So now, incredibly, 60 years later, we have ourselves a matured industry, but that still now sits squarely in a new wave of innovation, which is creating artificial general intelligence, or AGI as we know it, that could transform the world and society as we know it today. Now, we hear about ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Llama, even DeepSeek, Q1. These are all referred to as the foundation of AI. But you know what? From my very simple perspective, and to be honest, all these LLMs will remain as simply complex, very clever algorithms on a whiteboard, were it not for the tremendous computing power created from silicon. Everyone here knows that if Moore's law were an actual law, we'd all be in jail right now for breaking it. But the heroic effort of TSMC continues to push the limits. And we know, guys, every one of us know, today, all roads to AGI lead through TSMC. And today, I have the privilege to recognize and honor the two great individuals from this amazing company who have followed in the footsteps of Robert Noyce, scientist, engineer, businessman, and statesman, and who deserve to be honored as co-recipients of the 2025 Robert N. Noyce Award and the industry's highest award. And we are incredibly fortunate to have with us Dr. C.C. Wei, Chairman and CEO of TSMC, and Dr. Mark Liu, former Chairman of TSMC. Together, Mark and C.C. embody the spirit of innovation and the power of collaborative leadership. Their work at TSMC is not just about manufacturing chips. It's about enabling an enduring future where technology continues to improve our world and reflecting the current exponential need in computing capacity I can't help but be tempted as we drive towards AGI to tell CC, just give us more wafers. Now, Dr. Mark Liu served as chairman of TSMC from 2018 to 2024. And prior to joining TSMC, Mark worked at AT&T Bell Labs and Intel Corporation. He received his Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering from National Taiwan University, his Master's and Doctorate in Electrical Engineering and Computer Science from the University of California, Berkeley. But Mark is much more than a smart geek. More recently, he unveiled an interesting post-retirement plan. He founded the Technology Competitiveness and Industrial Policy Center, a think tank at Cal, his alma mater, where technologies and business leaders can engage in independent, nonpartisan research. When he was chairman, he guided TSMC's strategic direction, navigating global challenges, and driving long-term vision. In other words, he controlled tightly and wisely the capex of TSMC and drove all of us on the demand side of the semiconductor industry simply nuts. Now, he's a very serious man and a kind one, but a man of few words. In fact, I know he indulges in small talk even less than I do. And so I'm very honored to have Mark join me on stage to receive this award.
Thank you, Hawk. Thank you, Lisa. And thank you, everyone. Good evening. I'm truly very honored and much humbled to accept this great SIA award. I want to thank SIA and its nomination board for this recognition. First of all, of course, you expect me to thank you all, right? But above all, I want to thank my dear wife, Ju Chi Tan. She sits there, okay? And for her selfless sacrifice in walking with me through high and low around the world, from California to New Jersey to faraway island for her, Taiwan, and back to California. My best friend, a team marathon we did in the cycle of my life. Thank you. It's hard to deliver a speech with so many old friends. You probably know me everything. But tonight I want to share with you my two personal stories that happened early in my life, in my career, before TSMC. And that provided me the constant inspiration in my semiconductor journey. The first story is, as you know, Semiconductor process technology, not many people still doing it anymore. But I'm sure in your earlier career, you all have done this. It is a process technology of integrated circuit, all about studying microscopic phenomena. Those features are so small, we often find it hard to fathom, too small to grasp, too small to understand. And back in the late 80s, Professor Bill Oldham, I want to recognize him, my Berkeley thesis advisor, once told me something that gave me great enlightenment. He said, Mark, try to shrink yourself into a micron size first and feel those rugged structures around you, and then try to architect those structures. That advice guided me for all my future projects in semiconductor process development and yield improvement, from micron size to the nanometer size to the angstrom size structures today. Today, we are really working on atomic size structures. Each technology generation increases its complexity at least quadruple times. Only if we humble ourselves each time, prepare our mind, can we deal with those challenges. My second story is about when it happens about a person during my 6-year stint at Bell Laboratory. I was a principal investigator of a famous high-speed electronics research laboratory. My boss, I want to recognize him, Dr. P.K. Tian, famed as the father of integrated optoelectronics. He told me every time we met, Mark, you are the best in the world. He recruited me from Intel, so maybe that was the reason. He basically brainwashed me with such words for 6 years. It was his way of encouragement. It was also his expectation of me that led me to really strive myself together with my people to be the best in the world in what we do. Over the years, these two pieces of advice continuously resonate with me and give me inspiration throughout my Intel TSMC career. Now, at close, I want to thank my old colleagues in TSMC, including my co-recipient, Dr. C.C. Wei. It was the honor and privilege of my lifetime to work with you for all the past 30 years. Together, we create new ways to do almost everything in TSMC. Without you, I wouldn't be able to stand here tonight. Thank you. I also want to thank my fellow travelers in this amazing industry, which made my past 30 years in Taiwan feel like the blink of an eye. It was our joint effort to build this amazing, fabulous foundry ecosystem for the semiconductor industry. You know that it was never given Dr. Moore's law will continue generation after generation. I once said, it was simply our shared optimism from equipment supplier to material supplier to us, to our customers. We share the same optimism somehow that we work on something that we don't know how to do it, but we are sure it will succeed and make it work. So the excitement is there. Today, the excitement is here in the valley. Also, innovation is still in the air. May it be that this shared optimism will continue to increase chip computing power by several million times. Thank you.
Right. Got me again. But this teleprompter has decided to go kaput on me. Well, let me ad-lib. It's my honor now to recognize Dr. C.C. Wei as the 2025 recipient of the Robert N. Noyce Award. C.C. was born in Taiwan and earned his bachelor's and master's degree in electrical engineering from National Chiao Tung University. He later completed his PhD in electrical engineering at Yale University. Another very smart gig. Before joining TSMC in 1998, he worked at Texas Instruments, ST Microelectronics, and Chartered Semiconductor Manufacturing. He became CEO of TSMC in 2018 and chairman in June 2024, and has the distinction of holding both roles simultaneously for TSMC. CC has been the driving force behind TSMC's operational excellence, its success in cutting-edge semiconductor process. More than that, as I found out directly, he has the really uncanny ability to anticipate and prepare for the technologies of tomorrow. AI, CC. Most of all, he's very pragmatic. He's also a friend and colleague to so many of us in this room, and generous very much to his community. He's very engaging, downright amusing, but make no mistake, he's also a statesman. In fact, he is the only one better than I am at raising prices on Apple. Please join me in welcoming my friend and colleague, C.C. Wei, on stage.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to say thank you to Huck, especially he using very warm wording to introduce me. And he also knew that I will not be able to give him enough wafer. In fact, talking about the wafers, I have my board to recommend me to put a short and say no more wafers tonight. I also want to thank SIA Robert A. Noyes Award Selection Committee. I hope when they make this decision, they are clear-minded. This is a very prestigious award. I understand that. And in fact, this award is not given to me personally. I will simply give to the whole TSMC team. And I have the honor to work with a lot of talented people in TSMC. And one of them, Dr. Mark Liu, that we work for how many years together? He says 30 years, and not so long. It's only 27 or 28. I'm not so smart to choose the semiconductor industry to join, to be frank with you. Why I choose a semiconductor? Very simple. I want to be a medical doctor, but I cannot see blood. Once I saw blood, I faint. And I also want to be a kind of architect or something, but when I saw the painting, I have no feeling. So I decided to choose one of the easiest one, that double E. And when I graduate, in fact, I have been lucky all the time. When I graduate, I joined Texas Instruments, a remarkable company that I learned a lot of basic knowledge, fundamental in TI. But, TI, the group I was with, I'm ranking as there are only 8 people in a group. I'm ranking number 6. Do you think I'm so stupid to stay there forever? Then I moved to ST Microelectronics to practice my managerial skill. And I learned a lot, of course. And then I joined Charter because of in Singapore, because I think at that time, I don't know, I've been promoted to R&D head. Sounds great, R&D head, with only 50 people, by the way. Then in one day, I suddenly wake up and I decide to join TSMC. When I was with TI, people told me that you are lucky because of there's one very tough guy. It's called Morris Chen, so you don't have to work for him. But then in 1998, I decided to forget about what the people are comment on my previous boss. Now let's back to TSMC that I worked for 28 years already. There's a lot of good people and very talented people. So one day I chatted with Mark Liu. Mark told me, say, hey, CC, today, if you join TSMC, you might be able to get promoted to a department manager. A fab director, you don't have a chance. VP, never think about it. So I was lucky, I would like to say. I was lucky I was hired by TSMC as a VP to begin with. That's what is called lucky, right? Today I still feel very lucky because of, this industry become more and more important, right? And we cannot help to think about we are going to be the fundamental group to reshape the whole world. That's a beauty of this industry. Now, let me go back to myself. Many times people ask me, say, what's the beauty inside as being a CEO other than monetary award? I say, you are talking about compensation. When I think about Elon Musk, I never be able to talk about compensation. I have my board member here, so I hope they remember that. So at that time, I remember my answer to say that what is the good for being a CEO? Actually, my reply is I don't have to write a weekly report anymore. I've been writing weekly report for more than 30 years. I get a little bit tired. And to be frank with you, in reality, I found out that being a CEO, the beauty of being a CEO is I can interact with a lot of talented CEO, a lot of them in this room. Just say, for example, I got Lisa Su, I got Hak Ten. They are all my friends, provided they don't ask for the waiver more. Tonight, I find another beautiful thing to being a CEO, that I can receive this prestigious Robert Noyce Award. Thank you very much.
You got more. All right, congratulations again to both Mark and CC on this well-deserved recognition. Now, we're going to put the two of you to work. Mark and CC, we won't be asking you to clean the dishes in the kitchen. Actually, Mark and CC have kindly agreed to give us a bit more of their time as they join Lisa Su for a keynote conversation about their pasts and some of the big challenges and opportunities facing our industry. But before we get started, we have a video greeting from a special guest who has a long history with our awardees, but couldn't be here tonight, the one and only Jensen Huang.
CC and Mark, I wish I could be there with you in person today, but I want to celebrate this moment with you, even from afar. Congratulations! We are recognizing two great technologists and leaders. Your life's work has built one of the world's great companies, TSMC. TSMC doesn't just manufacture chips, you manufacture miracles every day at unimaginable scale. You serve thousands of customers, all building custom products, all with demanding needs and operating at the limits of physics. TSMC is foundry times 100. TSMC is a miracle. TSMC's real superpower is trust. This is what you built. You built a company that is now the foundation of the world's industries. You have enabled me, NVIDIA, to realize our dreams. Thanks to you, NVIDIA was free to focus on what we do best, reinventing computing. We pioneered accelerated computing and helped set off the modern wave of AI. Today, AI is the most powerful technology force of our time. It is transforming every industry and have become the essential infrastructure. And to build it, we need AI factories. systems that generate digital intelligence powered by a mountain of chips, TSMC chips. TSMC has helped the world flourish in each computing era, from PC, where you and I met, to internet, to mobile cloud, and now AI. CC and Mark, you've built a company that is enabling the age of AI, and surely the next. You are so deserving of this honor. I'm grateful for your partnership and proud of our friendship, and so glad the world is celebrating you both. Congratulations.
Now, without further ado, Lisa, Mark, and CC, the floor is yours.
All right, wonderful. Well, CC and Mark, we are so delighted that we get to spend a little bit more time with you, and you had such a great acceptance speeches about your history. Maybe I'll skip the history and go to our incredible business foundation. So, one of the things that we all recognize is, TSMC was founded and led by the great Morris Chang. And one of Morris's great accomplishments was really pioneering the foundry model in our industry. And back when it first started, it really wasn't clear that the foundry model was going to be successful. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on, the evolution of the foundry model, why it's been so successful, and what the future really holds. And maybe, Mark, I'll start with you.
Okay, that's right. The foundry model was pioneered in 1985 by Dr. Morris Chang. And at that time, we simply see a lot of good designers couldn't find a place to fabricate. Instead, they drive from HP to National to Motorola to get the chip fabricated. And that is the first stage, is we formed TSMC. Dr. Morris Chang decided to provide capacity for the innovators. And I think the leadership continues. About the first 10 years is surplus capacity. Our customer mostly is Intel, for the matters, and Philips. And then I think that when a lot of fabless company sprouting in the 80s and the early 90s, we realized they need service. So those 10 years become a service company. We automated our factory, automated our data stream, trained our engineer, and that is also Dr. Morris' drive to make everyone from operator to the CEO, everybody is customer-oriented. That is not just a manufacturing company. And another 10 years, we realized the company also, not just the capacity and services, it moved down to ecosystem builders. We realized this, Dr. Morris Chang also put out the Grand Alliance terms. That is the term that we want our suppliers, we want our customers, we want our party partners to together to build an effective platform, innovation platform for our customer. That's the third stage. I think in the last stage, when the system company comes in, they are more self-sufficient. Then I perceive this company become a technology play. When the technology lead, we just strive for technology leadership. And that is what brings us what we have today, so-called a foundry history.
Yeah, no, that's great. CC?
I all agree all what Mark said, so that's it. Let me add one thing. Actually, inside TSMC, we always think that, we have to make our customers successful. Then we have business. So this sequence is very important. So when customers have a problem, the new product has some issue, we are in a hurry to solve everything, all the issues, all the problems. Because I told my people, and when we have a meeting, I say, this is our business. If you don't solve it, we don't have revenue. Just think about it. And so we are working hard. So we always say technology, manufacturing, and the last one is a customer trust. We want the trust from our customer. We also got, because of that trust, also our customer help us to develop the technology because they point out our weakness so we can grow together, we can improve together. And that's the essence of a pure foundry.
Thank you, thank you. So let's talk a little bit about manufacturing. TSMC in Taiwan has just an amazing ability to put up manufacturing building after manufacturing building. And I know I've talked to both of you, and many of us in the room have talked to both of you about US manufacturing. And perhaps maybe I can ask, Mark, in the original decision to come to the US and come to Arizona, how did that come about? And then, Cece, I'm going to ask you how it's going now. But the truth is, I think there was a lot of conversation, so we'd love to hear the inside story on US manufacturing.
Okay. This is a very controversial topic. Different perspectives have their argument, and I have mine. I think if you start the decision-making process, it was from 2018.
Yes.
Right? Lisa, I remember, I think.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was a CEO meeting in GSA. And several of CEO came to me. They said, Mark, you have to have a US presence. Some taught me this in the corridor. Some taught me inside the pantry. Some taught me just straightforwardly. And I realized we have a long history. And customers always want us to distribute it because of typhoon, because of earthquake. And as time goes on, they realize these natural things happens on newspaper doesn't change our delivery schedule. Every wafer still continue precisely get to a wafer. But until this time, it's different. I asked him why. He said, I just came from Washington, D.C. The other one's I was in Department of Defense, Department of War or something at that time. And I realized this is something, and I talked to a lot of people. Yeah. And I realized the decision was really then the U.S. national security concern needs to be managed. I cannot solve the problem, but I do need to manage it because our customer wants that. They must have pressing needs for me to make decision. And that is the words I give it to my board. That is the words I give it to my people, that U.S. national security concern needs to be managed. I think that words drive me through the board. But the other things I happen to be very confident on TSMC's technology leadership. That was in 2018, when our technology just crossed over Intel. And I realized the crossover just happened, but then it continued. One day we're going to drive the technology leadership continuously. That's a huge responsibility. I cannot count on talent in Taiwan only to achieve the world leadership. I have to tap the global talents. And that is another long-term background thinking about this decision. of course, I got a letter from Secretary of Commerce, which is sitting here, jointly with Secretary of State, convinced me that it is a concern that I need to manage. And that's the decision. And fortunately, the board agreed, even though the popular people in Taiwan may not understand at the time. Yeah, but that's what we did. I think the CC supported me, and we just jointly come to the board and say, this is the decision we want to make. How much money we can make, we couldn't make too much promise, but this thing has to be done. Yeah.
Well, I think we're all very happy you made that decision. I think I was one of those people chasing you in the pantry for U.S. manufacturing. Now, CC, we're all counting on you. So tell us, how is Arizona doing from your perspective, and how has it come along?
First, let's give the credit to Mark to initiate this U.S. Fab.
That was not the question.
Now let me talk about the difficult part. We learned a lot. But fortunately, we got a lot of help from U.S. government and from our customer also. So at the beginning, everything is a little bit bumpy because we need to go through all the regulation. We make a wrong assumption, think Arizona is so with Intel's fab over there, so they know all the regulation or the permit. We are wrong. So I learned that in the U.S., every city are different. That's a beauty, probably. So we are working with all the through difficulties, and we try to lower down the cost. Huck just make a joke on me, say that I'm better than him to raise the price. Actually, it's not. Okay, he just tried to revenge from what I said in the last year's GSA. I said that Huck raised the price 7 times on me. Let me clarify it. I'm not so good, But joke aside, we learned a lot, and then we also noticed that once you started with a semiconductor fab, you cannot stop. You have to continue to expand it because of our customer is here, because of the U.S. government told us that they would like to have a more supply resilience, and also for our own sake, we need to large scale to serve our customer to lower down the cost. So everything add together, we continue to expand Arizona fab. That's today's situation.
Thank you, CC. And by the way, thank you. And I can say we are a very proud user of Arizona Fab, and it really is doing great. So thank you. Let's talk a little bit about AI. So AI, we've all said that it's the most important technology of our time. I think we've learned a ton in AI. I'd be very interested in hearing what both of you think about how the technology is moving, and then how you're thinking about the key obstacles and how we continue to really meet this incredible demand that's out there. So, CC, would you like to start?
Oh, that's a good topic. In these 3 months, I start to receive a lot of very exciting forecasts. If I add them together, the whole world, AI data center going to be 3 times of today's we have. I don't think that the CEO talking to me, they are telling a lie. No, all the CEO are very honest. But they are talking about their ambitions. You add all the ambition together, you know what is going to happen? You just don't have enough wafer. I truly believe that AI is in the early stage, They're going to grow, no doubt about it, because I talk to so many CEOs. They teach me a lot, except that the forecast are numbers. So I just share with you.
Mark.
Okay, I think the wafer CC will take care of you, okay? I think AI, I think we just simply have to embrace AI. Actually, TSMC, 6 years ago, we started the digital transformation. At that time, large language model wasn't there, but machine deep learning was there, and that applied to all our manufacturing methodology. And at that time, we have idea, it's a bootstrap, is you have improved the AI, can you improve the technology? Because technology is so complicated. And then when technology produces better AI, then it's a bootstrap process. Until large language model that it really bent the curve. And the curve, not only the technology, but also psychology in the society, also political policy is all bented, which I'm still observing. I don't think things is happening what we see now, but nonetheless, things will happen, and we just have to cope it along the way. Another thing, I have started this think tank at Berkeley, and one of the researchers is Laura Tyson. He's an economist, previously Secretary of Treasury. She studied that her current conclusion is AI will create a lot of low-income population. We only see the high-income elites. But the low-income people, we need the government intervention to prevent that. Namely, wealth distribution or the transformation of their work and training to do that. If we avoid this issue, just think about what happened in internet and social media. When I ask people, will social media bring the society better or worse? It's questionable. Internet definitely helps, but social media is questionable. It is not the technology we make, it's not the chip you did, it is the business model that create many society issues. And AI can only amplify by 100 times. That is, I think, that's why I want to bring the academic and industry into the policy-making process to be able to guide the country to a better path. Yeah.
That's great, Mark. Thank you. Okay, CC, let's talk about technology and the future. So every generation, it seems like it's getting harder and harder, and we keep asking you to do more and more. When you look across the technology challenges that you see, what keeps you up at night when you think about the next generation and the next generation?
Very hard to answer this one. What keeps me awake during the night? A lot of things. Actually, technology, just like Mark said, is shrinking the geometry that you'll never be able to see it, not even with your microscope. So today, we are using a lot of, this is not confidential information, we are using a lot of TEM. If you guys didn't know TEM, that's okay. So we're using that one to make a judgment. So it's so hard that now it goes down to atomic level. Once we deposit something, it's atomic level. We etch something, it's atomic level. And then I think TSMC working hard and learn a lot from our partner in equipment vendor. So they also help us to make progress. Not only by TSMC itself, our supply chain, the whole system, we have a customer working with us. We have equipment supplier working with us, all the three customers, supplier, TSMC are all working together for the technology progress. But if one day we cannot make it anymore, I tell you the truth, I don't worry because I retire already.
I don't know if I like that answer. Do we like that answer?
When I don't know how to answer, I use that one as an excuse anyway.
Well, we're counting on you guys. Maybe just a couple of things to finish up. So let's talk about workforce. I know that many of us are thinking about how do we ensure that we have the right talent in the workforce for everything that needs to be done in semiconductors. Can you guys just give us your thoughts on how is it going? What are the things that TSMC is doing? Mark, what are you doing from your policy work to ensure that we have the right workforce in place? Maybe, Mark, do you want to start?
Yeah, yeah. The workforce was a serious problem even beginning of the Arizona fab, and but today a lot of programs are already in place. At that time, we worked with Arizona State Universities. We worked with Purdue's, Indiana's Purdue Universities, and Berkeley has also had a program called ASA to conglomerate 30 university in U.S. to produce the STEM and STEM students, undergraduate students. But how much gap we have? I think SIA report is assume a certain percentage of manufacturing pre-produced in U.S. I'm not quite go along with that because
You think it's too many or too few?
yeah, I think U.S. ought to focus on advanced technology and emerging technology because we do not work our back to recorrect that. For that, you should be able to allow reliance on your allies and friends. And what U.S. ought to look at the future. With that, with today's semiconductor, batteries, the EV seems we are giving up, right? But I think EV will eventually come to U.S. and we have the fusion, we have fission, we have robotics. All those are in the waiting for U.S. to take it up. And that is the focus. I think that we should do it. And I think we should have enough high talented immigrant policy with a higher education to produce enough top tiers, scientists, engineer. I think that is the primary key. That's what I think. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm more pragmatic. Mark has a very long-term vision. For me, we need the manpower right now. You just think about it. Just 3-4 years ago, we decided to go to Arizona. So if the young kid at that time being persuaded to major in physics or EE, they are not graduated yet. And I need them to join TSMC as quickly as possible. Do you know what we are doing? We are trying to working with a lot of universities, and I try to persuade them don't go to. Oh boy, I should not say my customer's name. For those,
it's okay, CC. You can have the people. We just want more wafers.
Well, thank you. We need to have some guys working hard for this manufacturing of the semiconductor. Otherwise, we get no talented people. So not all the talented people go to Google. It's nice that I don't have a Sundar Pichai here tonight. But in reality, be realistic. It takes time to generate the talent people. It also takes our effort, the whole semiconductor industry's effort, to persuade our young guys to join this industry. Otherwise, we are going nowhere. That's a reality. Yeah. So we need to work together in this sense, not to join those 1.some trillion, 3 trillion company. Let's go down to the bottom line. That's what I said. Well, thank you.
Let me add something that is, I think TSMC will do well. But that is, I remember in the 80s, we finished my PhD in the EE, and some of my colleagues get his PhD from Stanford. And in this IEDM, I realized this guy went to Wall Street to find a better job than I do in Intel. To have talent, you have to make the industry make money. People walk towards where the money part is. So if we have the capacity, but those are not money-making operation, even you train a lot of people, people will not join you.
That's why I raise the price.
I'm not agree, okay? But there are other factors. I think this U.S. manufacturing strategy needs to be calculated in too.
Yes, there's a lot more that we have to do. Okay, last question. What are you guys most excited about over the next 5 years?
AI.
I think I see your stock price increasing higher.
I think, let me say, on behalf of the SIA board, I know everybody here in the SIA dinner tonight, and I think the entire industry, you know, Mark and CC, what you guys have done, your leadership of TSMC has been truly, truly incredible for our industry. I know I can say from an AMD standpoint, we would not be here today if it wasn't for the partnership with TSMC. And I know many, many companies in this room would say the same thing. So congratulations again. Thank you for everything you've done for us. And
thank you.
Please, more wafers. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark, CC, and Lisa, for that really great discussion. Let's give them one more big round of applause as they take their seat. So that almost concludes our dinner program, but the fun is not quite over. Please stick around for our after-dinner reception, which is hosted by our platinum sponsors, AMD, Arizona Commerce Authority, Cadence, Endress and Hauser, Intel, Marvell, Micron, NVIDIA, New York Loves Nanotech, Purdue Research Foundation, Samsung, SanDisk, Synopsys, and last, but certainly not least, and especially tonight, TSMC. The reception, hold on. The reception will take place in the foyer just outside. We have some very cool ice sculptures and some interesting live music from award-winning artists from Taiwan. If you like the ukulele, stick around. Lastly and finally, thank you to the SIA team, which is truly exceptional. Thank you.